Hey guys. That's not gonna work. Why isn't this just easy? Oh, just post it there. Post it there. Share group. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure things out. Where else are we? And there. And one more thing, and then I will get to you guys. It's so hot. It's humid. Very humid. There. Okay then. I hope nobody heard that. Okay then. I hope nobody heard that. What's that noise coming from? Oh, there we go. Okay. How are you? It's hot. Oh, it's humid. It's not hot. It's very humid. It was hot today. Okay. Let's see. Alrighty. Hello, hello. Hello. How are you doing? I'm better now. I've been a bit grumpy all day. It's really weird. Every time I get good news and, have that buzz, the next couple of days I feel like crap. I don't know what it is. I just feel like crap after a really good day. It's like come down off that high and go really, really low. Doesn't help that Spirit woke me up multiple times, so I only had half an hour sleep, not last night, the night before, and put into my head images of me going to wake my mum up and she had passed. All night. Every time I closed my eyes, that's what I saw, my mum's death. I think that put me in a really crappy mood. Mum is fine, by the way. She's still with us. Then I found out the reason they did that is to see where my conscious level is regarding my attachment to my mum. Who wouldn't be attached? Like, come on. They're saying, oh, you have to break that attachment. No. No. I'm not going to break that attachment. I ain't ready for that discussion. Okay, nothing happened this weekend yet again. Well, I never said it was going to happen this weekend. If you listen to the message, it was if all goes well this weekend, it will be the weekend to remember. Now, remember I said that it felt like they were waiting on some kind of announcement, some kind of event. Well, we now know what that is. And I'll tell you shortly. I can tell you this amount of information from receiving this amount of information. Okay. I do know how you're going to get the numbers, and I know when you're going to get the numbers. for the med beds. It depends on this announcement that's supposed to happen tonight. Supposed to. It's depending on that announcement. Okay. So, all right, I'll just tell you. Oh, look at that. There's 555 people watching. There you go. All right. So the intel that I have is the Brunson case. Now, before you start saying what is the Brunson case, I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow the politics. I don't follow the court stuff. I don't follow the intel. Okay, I follow the intel to see if the notifications for redemption appointments have been released. That's my following of any kind of intel. I haven't got a clue what the Brunson case is. Okay, and it sounds really cool. Lots of people are talking about it, but this is going to sound really horrible. I'm not interested. Okay, because whatever's going on here, exposing corruption, exposing this, exposing that, none of that is relevant to where I want to go. And my focus is purely on where I want to go. So my focus is, oh, look at all these blue cars that just drove in. 3 blue cars, one after the other. So my focus is on being in my heart space, being the center of my world, and really trying to keep my focus on what I want to experience, not on what I don't want to experience. And if you focus on, court cases and exposing corruption, that is keeping you cemented right where you are. And you're not going to move forward vibrationally. You can't, simply because you're choosing to remain in that vibrational frequency, in that reality. So I choose to ignore all of it and just look for the notification. That's it. So I don't know what the Brunson case is, but apparently we're waiting on that announcement, which should happen in, I don't know, 8 hours or something. I don't know. Something like that. Let's say within 18 hours. Okay, let's just say that, just to be on the safe side. So apparently, from what I was told, and I was told this for those of you who are interested, it's like a funeral procession, these cars coming in. Very slow, one behind the other. So what I was told by a couple of military people. They had things on up here. I'm not military. I wouldn't have a clue. They got things up here, and they had medals and stuff here. They come from within the medbed distribution center, I guess you could say, in Trump's administration or in the White Hat administration. That's who they are. Okay. So what they said is, providing everything goes well with this announcement, and they did say the Brunson case, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't mean anything to me. If all goes well and SCOTUS announces what we want them to announce, then they said that Trump will be back in office pretty much immediately. I don't follow it, so if I've got that wrong, I don't know, but I'm just telling you what they told me. When that happens, if that happens, we want it to happen, apparently. We need it to happen, apparently. Let's just put it out there. When that happens, that will reinstate Trump like that, immediately. However, it will take 1 or 2 days for him to get back in. Right. Now, that apparently is the go signal for the RV. Okay, that apparently is the go signal for the RV. I'm just relaying what I'm told. Okay, so if any naysayers say, oh, well, that's not true, I'm just telling you what I'm told. Okay, I don't know. So How much more can I? Okay, they just said that's it. All right. Now, I do have a lot more that goes with that. Okay, the meeting I had with them lasted for about half an hour, and a lot of information was given within half an hour. Okay, so regarding the med beds, if the announcement is made in our favor, it is time to, pop that champagne bottle. It is time to celebrate and have a party and relax. Okay, that's when it's time to relax and enjoy. Um, I'm itching to say it. I'm not allowed to. I got images in my head of like two military drill sergeants standing right in front of me, just arms folded, staring at me. Like, no. Oh, I'm itching to say it. Anyway, I can't. I'm so sorry. But if that announcement is made in our favor, yes, it is time to get excited. We do not have to wait for January 20th or next year. Uh, we are talking in, they're like, trust me, that announcement's made. Yeah, it's time to throw parties. Okay, it's time to throw parties, and the moment that announcement is made is the time you need to discuss with your family about your medbed procedure, whether they believe you or not. It is the time, because once you have your procedure, they're going to ask us a whole bunch of questions, and they might not be supportive. You need to talk about it to them, okay, so they understand what's about to happen. Okay, so important, okay. So please, once that announcement made, get your family together, have a good chat, and tell them what you know about your procedure and what you want done and what it does and everything else. Okay, I'm being deadly serious. Alrighty, doesn't matter if family's 3D. Doesn't matter. You need to discuss your procedure with them. You need to tell them what's going to happen.
Quiet.
All right. Doesn't matter if they believe or not. Tell them. Okay. Pluck up the courage and tell them. All right. We are waiting for Starlink connection, right? No, we're not waiting for Starlink connection. Not everybody you don't need to have Starlink internet to book your appointment. Okay, they're using the Starlink technology so that when you do book your appointment, it cannot be hacked. Okay, it is on the quantum system, but it can't be hacked. The notification cannot be duplicated or replicated from any scammers. Okay, so they're using that technology to protect the notification and the booking. Okay, you don't need the Starlink internet. Right? They're just using that technology for this. Pardon me. I just finished dinner, so now I've got a frog in my throat. Costa Rica, it's 1:30 a.m. Good God, go to bed. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be hotter tomorrow. And of course, my brother's smoking, choking me. So today was 31 degrees. Tomorrow 35 degrees. Wednesday 37 degrees Celsius. And then Thursday 31 and Friday 25 and rain. Bring on Friday. Bring on Friday. Yeah, bit of a heat wave happening here, but it's coming into summer. It's Australia. What do you expect? And then they'll say, oh, it's global warming. No, it's not. It's Australia coming into summer. It's very normal. But it's very hot. I don't do well in the heat. And I don't do well in the cold. All right, let's have a look. Humid in Melbourne too. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. Of course she has. What temperature is it there now? It is 26 degrees Celsius. All right. It's cold here in the Middle East. What's quack-a-lackin'? I haven't heard that. It must be about 15 years. What's quack-a-lackin'? Could be. Or maybe what's happening. Yeah. All right. So it is an absolute incredible news. However, remember, someone's cooking. I can smell it. Remember, it's fantastic news, but just remember that it is dependent, okay, on the Brunson case being announced, and that is the go, okay, for the RV and medbeds. Okay, medbeds officially have been released. They've been signed off on. They've been signed off to be released to the public. So officially, I hope they don't burn it. Officially, medbeds are available to the public. Officially, until we get our notification, and I do know how that's going to happen, and I do know when that's going to happen, but these two guys standing in front of me, they're not there in person, but I can see them. They actually may be there in person. They may be cloaked, or they may be in spirit form. They look like Marines, being tough guys. Or maybe it's my manifestation of men in uniform. I need to go to an army base. Moving on. Okay. Let's see. Oh, dear. I'm just going to go to the bottom of all the comments. Ignore them. Yeah, that's a bit hard. I'm already blushing, you see? It's middle-aged hormones. All right. What does the RV stand for? Re-evaluation or revaluation of currencies. Okay, so the RV is revaluing the currencies, which to the higher rates. Something to do with going back to gold standard and going dollar for dollar, something like that. I am not the best person to explain it. I know the bare minimum, which people that have messaged me and said, "Oh, can you tell me about the RV?" I'm like, no. Oh, and a couple of people on my last couple of lives said this is very unprofessional. You've got noise in the background. You're sitting outside. This is very unprofessional. Sorry, but circumstances don't. What word am I looking for? Let's just say I had a good long chat to somebody today, someone who I've been posting a lot of in my Telegram group, and he says circumstances and situations that a person finds them in do not define who they are or their value or their worth. And it's true. Just because I'm not sitting in a nice office or a room with all these diplomas and accolades and everything, it doesn't mean I'm not the best person for the job. It means that I have challenges that I'm currently going through that I need to learn through, just like you. It means that if you knew my story and how I became living at a motel, then you might not be so quick to judge. Okay? Sometimes our circumstances, we feel we're not good enough for the job we've been given. Your circumstances make no difference. No difference. If this setup, which is the only thing I have available to me, is not up to your expectations of what it should be for this announcement for the medbeds, then perhaps you need to redefine your beliefs and your judgments of others. Just saying. People have become too accustomed to seeing lawyers, surgeons, politicians living in big houses, wearing suits, and officers, and all of that kind of stuff. They've forgotten the actual person. We're moving away from what society thinks is acceptable. I know now exactly how the medbeds are going to be released to the public and how you guys are going to get those phone numbers. You're going to be eating your words. And I know where. I shouldn't have said that. But yes, I do know where. I do know when. I do know how. I am dying to tell you guys, but yeah, these guys, I think I'd be hauled off and disappeared in Area 51 or something. No, that's not where they're going to be disclosed from. Just to put that out there. So, yes. What happens if it doesn't go in our favour? What do we have to wait for then? I don't know. They are not expecting it to not go in our favour. They are expecting SCOTUS to make that announcement and for Trump to be reinstated immediately, and it will take him 1 to 2 days to get in office, and that announcement is the go signal for the RV. And I was also told that Biden and everybody that was connected to the 2020 election would be immediately arrested, like on the spot, publicly. That's what I was told. So, there you go. How about those not in your groups? I'm referring to Todd's group. This is how it's going to... I can't say that. I'm trying to be sneaky and get around it. And these two guys are standing here going, I'm a rebel. I'm looking for a way that I can hint something without hinting it. Once that announcement is posted in my groups, within seconds, it will be around the world in every group. Okay? Within seconds. Within seconds, it will be around the world. In every language you can possibly imagine. And it will not only be, they just said, Kerry, you're cutting a fine line. It will not only be on social media, it will also be on mainstream media, thanks to Elon Musk. Okay, let's change the subject, please. Okay. So Elon Musk buying up mainstream media stations has a huge thing to do with it, okay? Moving on. I'm walking a very, very fine line. Alrighty. Very fine line. Okay. Most of them already been executed. Yeah, but they'll arrest the public, the actors. Yeah. They'll arrest the actors. Okay. Change the subject. There's more people watching this than just you guys. Put it that way. They're like, Okay, is there a difference between military or celestial medbeds, or are they the same? Okay, military medbeds were given to humans. Now I'm all dizzy. See, they're watching. They're watching. Military medbeds, I'm just going to close my eyes for a second, were given to humans by the Pleiadians in the 1950s. And have been used by the secret space program since then. Celestial chambers are not built yet. Apparently there are some upgraded, different model of medbeds using slightly different technology. I don't know. I don't follow Jared Rand, but they're not built yet. Okay, so they're not the same. One is built, works perfectly, has been perfected, and we are about to get. And the other one has not started to be created yet. So we'll be a few years before that happens. Okay. Well said about your circumstances. Yeah, there was one lady, a tarot reader. I can't remember her name. I don't want to remember her name, to be honest. I don't judge people. I'm all about love and compassion. And then I saw a comment about me. She's a fake. That Skye Prince is a fake, a fraud. She does her lives on the steps, for God's sake. She's homeless. Obviously, she's a fraud. Sorry, excuse my language, but fuck you. Like, seriously? And I sent her a very polite message saying, look, this is why I live in a motel. And boy, was that the wrong thing to do. She chewed my head off like I was a piece of trash and threw me in the bin and set fire to me, condemning me to hell for eternity. It's like, oh my God. And you preach love and compassion? Fuck me. Like, seriously, excuse my language. It was like, wow. Oh, disgusting. Oh, just note, for future, when you watch and follow people, follow their channels and how they speak live when they think people are watching, when they know people are watching, a lot of them are the opposite. They are very, very dark. Look at their comments, okay, in the chats when they think that hardly anyone's watching. That's who they actually are. When they're in front of the camera, they're all, oh, love, peace, harmony, compassion, unity. But in the comments, oh no, they are nothing like that. It is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And when you follow people like this, like you just say you're following me, obviously you're watching me right now, I am putting energy out to you. So when you're following someone, you are receiving my energy, like I'm receiving your energy, because you're focused on me. I'm focusing on you. I'm putting energy out. You're picking that up. So my energy is infecting you. Every time you watch TV, every time you watch someone's channel, or you're in someone's group, or you read someone's post, the energy, not the information, the energy of the person posting it, you are picking up. Okay? You're taking that on board, which is why there's certain intel providers I refuse to have their information in my groups. It's not because of the information. It's the person behind the information that has the really horrible, nasty energy that I don't want in the group. Okay? So watch who you follow. Okay, I mean, we all get angry, we all get frustrated, and we have good days, we have bad days. But the energy of these people who are nice and all beautiful on camera, and you're getting all of that. And then you wonder why I don't feel great today. Because you're picking up the energy of the people that you follow, and the people that potentially you follow are very, very dark. Okay, just be very aware. Status is irrelevant and now crumbling. Give thanks, you're perfect, who you are, what you are, and how you flow. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so I do read the comments. Sometimes I don't read. I just see the first few words and I'm just like, block, whatever. But sometimes I do read the comments, and I do get triggered by them because I do have those thoughts sometimes. Like, one thing that I have struggled with, or I did struggle with for quite a while, is why me? Why me? I'm a nobody. All I want to do is ride horses and train horses and rescue horses. And I did nursing. I didn't even believe spirit existed until I was 29. And why me? I'm not even interested in this kind of stuff. And yet here I am, and I had this conversation today actually. And here I am, supposedly the only one on the planet that will be given the numbers to, so the world, everybody can heal themselves. Like, why me? I'm a nobody here on Earth. On Venus, that's different, but we're not on Venus. We're not in the secret space program. We're here. So why me? So, and sometimes the comments do resonate a little bit because I do have those thoughts. And then I think, well, stuff it. Why not me? Why not? People get jealous. I'm jealous of you guys that don't have channels, that can hide in the background and don't get abused and attacked and can just go about your daily life. People recognize me in the street all the time. I'm like, I feel like a celebrity. For what? So we all have our role to play. We all incarnate here for a reason. And the situation you find yourself in doesn't change anything. It just sometimes, and for myself, being here in this motel is because I'm needed here. I'm needed here. When I was nursing, I spent a lot of time with people that have come from motels, that were homeless, and they go to emergency and then they come to the ward, and I would, look after them, be their nurse. I never got to see where they came from. I only got to see them when they hit rock bottom, from drug overdose or whatever, from trying to take their own life because they became homeless and all of that. I only got to see the end result, never the lead up. And here I am experiencing the lead up for myself. And as much as I can't stand it, moving forward in the projects where I potentially will do an education, spiritual, medbed center, I now resonate with those people. And I will be able to help people more now because I have this experience where I wouldn't before. I'd just be like, oh, that's so sad, so horrible. Now I can sit down beside someone who is homeless and say, yeah, I know what it feels like. Yeah, I know where you're coming from. And in turn, those people will trust me more. They will see that I managed to get through it. I managed to make something of myself. I managed to pull myself out of it. That there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope. That's why I'm here. When I first came here, we had the police every single day. We had people trying to throw each other off the balcony, and we had someone go round and smash all the windows in the cars, except mine. The police were here several times a day for a couple of weeks for different people. Now we get the police maybe 2-3 times a week instead of several times a day. And that is because of the light. That's because I continue to hold the light, and it is a much better environment. We've got some lovely people here. Even when we have the real bad people here, it's still a pleasant place to be. So, there's a reason for everything. Okay. They knew you like a bloke in uniform. Oh, yeah. People cannot accept love until they love their inner child. That's true. Until they love themselves. Let's see. I don't want to sound like a smart ass, but I think I do know what you're trying to say. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's oh, look at that. 1,010 people. 1010. Another synchronicity. Before it was 555. Now it's 1010. Look at that. Looking through these comments, just asking questions already answered. Honestly, Kerry, I don't know how you put up with this, but you are you. It was hard at the beginning. Now it's okay. I do get frustrated a little bit, but now it's okay because every time I see the same questions asked over and over again, I remind myself there's new people coming on board all the time. I was once one of those new people. I remember when I first learned of my time in the Secret Space program, I didn't ask any questions, but I joined the groups and I was dying to ask the questions. And every time I would go to ask a question, I would hear in my mind, you already know. You don't need to ask. Say the question in your mind and the answer will be there. So I never actually got to ask. And I remember I wanted to join a Bashar live stream. I think it was in 2020 when COVID hit, I think, when he did all these shows live stream on the internet. And I was talking to Odin, one of the Venusians, and he said I couldn't afford it at the time. It was something like $80 Australian, and I just didn't have that money. We just finished work because COVID had just hit, and we just didn't have the money. And I said, "Damn, I wish I could attend. I got so many questions to ask." And Odin said to me, "Like what? Give me one question that you would ask Bashar." And he said, "I'll wait." And I thought about it and went, every question that ran through my mind, I immediately had the answer. 5 minutes went past. He said, "You still thinking?" I went, "Yeah." I said, "Why do I not have any questions?" I said, "I can't think of a single question to ask Bashar." And he said, "Because you trust yourself to know the answer, which you already do. The moment you have questions is the moment that you're moving out of alignment of who you truly are, because you're blocking your connection to source. You have every single bit of information, and this goes for you guys too. Everything I speak of, you already know 100%. I'm not teaching anybody anything. I'm not telling anybody things that you don't already know. You already have it all of it. It's just our mind tells us we don't. It's just our mind that tells us, I don't know because I don't trust myself. So the moment you understand, you acknowledge and you accept that you already have every single bit of knowledge, and I mean every single bit of it, that's when you'll have no questions. That's when you're in true alignment with who you really are, with Source. And it is so true. I still, to this day, cannot think of a single question to ask Bashar, to ask Armin, to ask Odin, to ask Seth. Every time I go to have a question, I have the answer. So it's the same for all of you guys. You just got to switch this off and allow the information to flow through you. But we go, oh, that's just my imagination. I don't trust it. What you're saying is I don't trust myself. Okay? So I don't have the confidence to trust myself. So you guys already know what's about to happen. It's this that gets in the way. Okay? You look like you're about to burst with excitement. I am. I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight. That'll be 3 nights in a row where I've had 30 minutes sleep. I love it when the scientists say, oh, you need X amount of hours to sleep. 30-minute nap of an afternoon or early in the night is more than enough for me. When I was competing horses, I would have 30 minutes. That's it, a night. And then I'd go and ride 25 horses a day, starting at 3 a.m. because I used to be a jockey. So thank God I got out of that profession. So, yeah. Let me see. Who guarantees us that the medbeds will be used for good and not putting a chip in your brain by Elon Musk's evil Neuralink? You do. If you're on the positive timeline, then you're on the positive timeline. Nothing like that will happen. If you're on the negative timeline, which it sounds like you are because you're fearing something, then that is a possibility. It's your choice, okay? But in all seriousness, the med beds, thanks to the Pleiadians, have put technology on the med beds that they cannot be used or abused, and nothing. The medbed cannot do any kind of procedure without your knowing or approval. Okay, without you knowing or your approval. Okay, it's frequency based. So if you don't know something and somebody tries to download some kind of language or put a chip in you or something like that, and you don't know, the bed will stop. It'll stop working. Okay, it's all based on frequency. One question that has come up quite often in the last 24 hours is, what if people have not got projects, but when they ring to book their appointment, they say, yes, I'm a humanitarian, I've got projects. Quantum computer is based on vibrational frequency. So the computer will know if you're lying. And then it's back to the line, back to the end of the line for you. Okay, so tell the truth. Okay, everybody will get their procedure in perfect timing. Okay, so don't lie. Otherwise, you'll go straight to the back of the line because you're trying to jump the queue, and that's dishonest. Remember, we're moving into the 5D New Earth. It's honesty, integrity, truth. Okay, justice, peace, and I mean justice in a nice way, not like hanging people. Okay, it's all a very positive timeline. Nothing can happen without your permission. Alrighty, and based on vibrational frequency, the quantum computer and the beings working the computer will know. All right, so don't stress. Never mind. Okay, this news applies worldwide. Okay, it's not just Australia, it's not just America, it is global. Okay, global. I'll tell you a funny experience I had with Odin today. I was taking Mum to a shopping centre just to get her out, and it was so hot. So we went to a shopping centre, and I'm sitting there with the window down. I'm not a fan of air conditioning because the room is in constant air conditioning 24 hours a day. So when I'm outside, I love the fresh air. And I had the window down, and a motorbike was coming, and I saw him in the mirror. And all of a sudden, I had this urge and this vision in my head to reach out and stroke the motorbike riders. We'll stop at traffic lights to stroke the motorbike rider's arm, and I just burst into laughter. It's like, are you kidding? Are you serious? And I'm like, who the hell put that in my head? Like, I almost did it. I leaned forward to actually do it. It's like, Odin, you're gonna get me killed. It was hilarious. And Mum's like, don't. I'm like, bloody hell, Odin, you're going to get me murdered. It was very funny. It was very funny. Sounds funny when you say global and truth in the same sentence. I ain't going to get into that. Timelines can be shifted by frequencies of the world, people of the world. Yes. But remember, while we're going through this collectively, you're also choosing your own timeline that you want to experience based on your frequency and your intention. If your intention is to focus on world events, yeah, you're going to stay with that reality. If your intention is to experience all the glory that is in another timeline, the 5D New Earth timeline, and that's where your focus is, that's what you'll experience. Okay, so your intention, where your intention goes, your energy flows. Where your energy flows, your reality is created. Okay. I hope you still have, if I can pay with my Trump bucks, if anyone asks me to pay for medbed, I just ask. Medbeds will be free. What are you paying for a medbed for? That's just silly. Don't pay for a medbed. That's a scam. You'll pay for you'll pay for it, and you'll never get your money back. That's a scam. 100%. Medbeds will be free. Please, people. My vibes are high tonight. Yeah. When that announcement comes, your vibe should be through, much higher. What do you mean by timeline? I don't get it. There's only one timeline, and that's the one you're living. No, you are multidimensional. You think that you're the only one experiencing you. Mm-mm. Every time you make a large decision, or you have grief, or you have a massive excitement, you switch timelines. Literally. There's not one timeline. There's an infinite number of timelines. I think it's something, I can't remember the exact number, it's huge. It's billions of potential future realities every single second. Every breath you take, hell was that? Every breath you take, you are traveling through an infinite number of timelines and potential future realities. Every breath you take. Each timeline is dependent on your thoughts and your choices. Be careful where your thoughts go. Be careful what you choose. Okay? Really, you're creating your future timeline as you're sitting here listening to me. Every single breath you take, you're traveling through billions of potential future realities. And where you focus is the reality that you will land on, that you'll experience. Okay? Will they have enough med beds in Oz? Yes. Okay, about a year ago, I think it was, I was told there was 5 million med beds worldwide, 50,000 in the US. I can't remember the numbers of every other country. But yeah, they're in every major city. There's going to be more than enough. Okay, don't stress. And somebody also commented, will they have an issue with the phones when you book the appointment? No, there won't be an issue. You might have to hold on for a couple of minutes, but that's it. Okay, each booking, they'll just ask you a few questions. They'll take your name, your date of birth, and they'll ask you a couple of questions about your health and your location. 3-4 minutes tops, if that. Okay, might only be a minute. So there's not going to be a massive line. And remember, most of the world hasn't got a clue about this. Okay, most of the world haven't got a clue. And the ones that do, we're spread all over the world. So it's not going to be some massive... it's not going to be a massive rush. All right? So relax.
Great song.
And a lot of people that do know about the medbeds are skeptical. They're like, no, like the person that commented about putting a microchip or some Musk Neuralink. Okay, that will stop people. So a lot of people involved in the truth community won't even try the medbeds because of their beliefs. And their beliefs is perfect for them because they're not meant to. And look at that. 1,110 people watching. 111. There's our third synchronicity. Okay, so there's not going to be a mad rush. Do not stress. Do you know if we will be on lockdown, or can you say? I personally don't believe there's going to be any kind of lockdown. There may be in certain cities that are known for violence and riots, but no, like Sydney is not a violent place. We're not going to be in lockdown. Um, you know, think of violent places. Yeah, they may be, but the rest of us, no. So yeah. Will those numbers be worldwide? It depends. The number of med beds in your city will depend on a number of things, including the population. How many people are in your city? What's the consciousness like? How many truthers are in your city? How many sick people? Okay, so it's not going to be 50,000 in, like, the US has 50,000. I think they got more now. But it's not going to be 50,000 for England, 50,000 for Hawaii. You know, it's not going to be 50,000 for Finland. Okay, it will completely depend on the population. All right, they know what they're doing. Okay, these guys have expert assistants who do this all the time. They know exactly what they're doing. We will get notifications worldwide on our phones too for MedBed. That's pushing the fine line because I know exactly how it's going to happen. I will bypass that one. If MedBed centres offer a 3-month program for weight loss, can they provide healthy food for the home until the RV arrives? You will need to discuss that with your MedBed team when you have your appointment. What if you don't have transport if you book your appointment? They will come and help you. They'll book a taxi, they'll book an ambulance, they'll send out a car. Okay? Just chill, all right? Where there's a will, there's a way. Okay? I had a dream where you and I were in a mission like in a video game. That's not exactly a non-possibility. Dreams are usually another reality playing out. Yep. Where are we? Do you know how many med beds are in Germany? No, I don't. I don't have those numbers. Let me see. Who are the blue aliens that have a blob-like shape, have claw-like structures around their eyes? Are they loving? I don't know. They sound horrific. Never heard of them. Sorry. Please explain how this technology is free of charge. Humanitarian funding. It's the humanitarian funding that pays for your treatment. So your treatment isn't free. Someone's got to pay the staff. Someone has to pay for the building, the upkeep. Someone's got to pay for all the supplies, the transportation, everything like that. You don't pay anything. It's all funded by the humanitarian funds. Okay. Several people have said, well, if the medbed treatments, the medbeds are funded by humanitarian funds, we don't have our humanitarian funds yet. So how are they going to happen? The global humanitarian funds, of course. That's what's funding it until you do get your funding, and then you will fund them. Okay? Remember, the military and the Global Alliance takes care of everything until the humanitarians are ready to step up. Okay? So that's what's happening. How do we make medbed appointments for pets? You will, I believe, when you call to book your appointment, it'll be possibly either another number, or press 1 to book a human appointment, press 2 to book an animal appointment, something like that. Okay, and then you just press whatever and book your animal appointment just like you book yours. Okay, so yeah, really, really simple. It's not hard. Okay, it's not hard. Do you feel the wars will stop and people will stop glorifying murderers, or will the sick-minded warrior supporter will be the last saved? I feel while the 3D timeline continues, the 3D timeline continues. Meanwhile, those in their heart, those moving themselves up, will split away from the 3D timeline and be more and more in the 5D timeline. And eventually the two timelines will completely split, and they won't mix. So there'll be like a veil between the two. There'll eventually be the 5D that completely separate, have no contact with the 3D, and then you'll have the 3D totally unaware of anything that's going on in the 5D, not even aware that there's another timeline. Okay, so yeah. All good?
You done?
Nah.
Oh, you gonna break.
I don't know. What's up?
Oh, no.
Okay. Will airlines continue, or may they be delayed or cancelled? No idea. But where does humanitarian funding come from? It's all the wealth stolen from us by the dark ones. Okay? It's all the wealth that has been stolen over centuries. Centuries? Thousands of years. Millennia. That's the word I'm looking for. Over millennia. Okay? That's where it's all coming from. Do you know Valiant 4? Not in my earth life. I'm sure he knows. I got a feeling he knows me, but not in my earth life. Other than that, yeah, he's Venusian, same as me. So yeah. You keep saying something about getting our paperwork in order. Could you please explain what kind of paperwork that is? The paperwork is for the redemption appointments, okay, if you want to do projects, okay? That's the paperwork I'm referring to. So nothing to do with medbeds, okay, unless you have a project. That's the paperwork. So, have your folder, your project presentation prepared, make sure your emails, are all up to date, check the spelling, um, make sure you've got your list of currencies all written down, the people you want on your NDA, if you want anyone on your NDA, all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, nothing to do with medbeds. Who was the entity that you channeled the other day? Did you get permission to say? I did, and I had a very long conversation with him. Bashar. And I didn't channel him. And I went, what do you mean? Because I said to him later, I said, I thought you said that you would never channel anybody else except Daryl Anker. And he said, true. And I said, well, what was that? And he said, you didn't channel me. It wasn't a channel. I said, you lost me. I said, it felt very much like a channel. And he said, what we did is we raised your frequency earlier in the day, which did actually happen. I was in the car and I said to Mum, something's going on. They're raising my frequency. I can feel my frequency rising up. And he said, we raised your frequency so that you would be a vibrational match to myself and my colleagues. And you melded your consciousness with us, and we became the one consciousness. You mirrored our thoughts, and we used your voice to speak our collective thoughts. So it wasn't a channel. And I said, well, can you explain the difference? And he said, sure. When we channel, we give the person the information. The person that is doing the channeling has no input, meaning the information doesn't come from them. But what we did with you is we raised you to join our collective consciousness so that you became one of us. And your higher self was part of that consciousness. And you were part of the creation of that information. So it is not a channel. It is a joint consciousness giving information using a physical body. So, and I said, so that's not channeling. So you didn't and haven't channeled anyone else. And he said, exactly. So, yeah. I went, that's pretty cool. So even after all 15 years of working with spirit and ETs and everything, I didn't know there was a difference. I've done it several times, and I've done it with Amun-Ra, I've done it with Odin, I've done it with Seth, I've done it with quite a few of them. But I do it with Venusians, not so much with other races. So it's very interesting. It was very cool. That's funny because the other day in the live, I kept thinking you were speaking like Bashar at that point. Yeah, I knew who it was. And that's what I said. If you know the person, if you know this particular person, you'll have an idea who it is. How does it feel when they raise your frequency? It feels like you're beginning to levitate while remaining seated. You can feel the internal, it's all in an internal, almost like you're being pulled internally higher and higher, lighter and lighter. So it's almost like a kundalini. It starts from the base chakra, and it's like your whole insides is just being pulled up, but the rest of you, it feels like you're about to levitate. So it's pretty cool. How am I supposed to believe anything you are saying without you showing any proof? Don't believe it. It's a choice. To believe it is a choice. To not believe it without proof is a choice. And I'm not forcing my beliefs on you. Either believe it or don't. Your choice. Is that Bashar that Daryl Anchor channels? Yes, that's him. If you need to go through a 3-month program, do you have to stay at the center, or can you go through them from home? There's inpatients and outpatients, so you can do your program from home. It depends on the level of support you need, or you can stay at the center. But that will be determined on the level of support you need. I don't think you're going to have a choice unless you're borderline. Okay, so the center I want to do is going to be very, very luxurious. I like luxury. Sorry. Modern castles. I like luxury. Yeah. So it will be very luxurious. Some people will definitely want to stay because of the luxury, but they're not required to stay. So they won't be allowed to, simply because what for? And other people will want to go home, but they would be required to stay. So it depends. But if you're borderline, like, then they will give you a choice. Let's see. Are people still offered to use a medbed if they don't believe in them? They'll be offered. Yeah, everyone's going to be offered a medbed. If you don't believe in them, then you're obviously not going to experience it because, you don't believe in them. So, yeah. Is it true that we have the ability to levitate given the knowledge? Yes, humans can levitate, but our frequencies are too low. Okay, you need to be within your physical body needs to be at a vibrational frequency, not just your mind, but your physical body as well. So yeah, if women opt out of not going through menopause, or does is it connected to whether they still have menstruals or not? For women, okay, women specific, obviously, not the transgenders because they don't menstruate, they don't go through menopause as much as they say they do, they don't. So for women, if you don't want to, so menopause is not exactly a natural thing. Okay, it's not exactly natural, and same with the menstrual cycle is not exactly natural. So with a healed body, if you want to have a baby, okay, then you're not even going to need the menstrual cycle. You don't even need a partner. You don't even need sperm to have a baby with the new technology. If you would like to have a baby in the natural way with a husband, a partner, that way, um, then you can have your menstrual cycle turned on, which means you will menstruate and then that will feed the baby and blah, blah, blah. If you choose not to have a baby, me, can't stand kids, then it's going to be switched off. 100%, I'm going to have it switched off. So you can choose to keep menstruating or to turn it off until you're ready to have a child. And if you have that child and then you say, oh, I don't want another one, then you go back in the medbed, they switch it off. 20 years later, I would like another child. Go back in the medbed, switch it on. So, yeah, you can have it turned on and off. Just they don't want you to turn it on and off like all the time, okay? Just because you change your mind, because that actually does mess with the rest of the hormones in the body. Okay, they want you to remain pretty consistent. They don't want you jumping back in the bed every month or so because you change your mind. Okay. Where are we? There we are. I missed a few minutes here earlier while sending kids off, so apologies if asking a question already answered. Teenagers, can we accompany them to the medbeds? You can accompany anybody to the medbeds, but once, for example, a teenager, once it's their turn to be taken, to the medbed, then you sit in the waiting room. There's no need to go in the medbed, send in the medbed room with them. They're well looked after. If you have a 3-month-old, yeah, go in the room with them. If you have a person or a child that's got some kind of developmental delay, yeah, they'll probably ask you to accompany them. Can't even say it. Accompany them into the room of the med beds, and then when they lay on the bed, then you'll be taken to a waiting room for the duration of their procedure. So, yeah, same with someone if you've got dementia or if you've got an autistic person or, yeah, you can accompany them into the room, but once the procedure starts, because of the frequency, you'll be asked to wait in the waiting room. Bashar is negative grey alien. Oh, come on. Really? I don't want to be rude or disrespectful to your beliefs, but there's a bit of comedy for the day. No, Bashar is not a negative grey alien. He's a grey hybrid. And if you're going to associate all greys as negative, then you need to open your mind in a big way. That's like saying every single human is satanic and evil. I don't know about you, but I ain't satanic and evil. You might be, but I wouldn't class an entire race of beings as the same because they're not. So open the mind, okay? Do hybrids have souls? Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. Yeah, I think I keep it turned off. Yeah, exactly. And just something that is not important, but something that I'm going to request, which you're all going to find out what I'm going to request because I'm going to live stream it to the world, um, is I don't want underarm and leg hair. I'm sick of shaving. I don't want the hair. So you can do that. I don't want underarm and leg hair. Please, can you not regrow that? Please remove the hair from those areas. Perfect. Okay, so you can do that. All right. You can choose the length of your actual head hair. Okay. So, you know, is it true that only 5D people will be able to use the med beds, but 3D people will not? How about gay people that are 5D? Everybody can use the med beds, except people who have sold their soul, people who love harming another, whether human or animal, pedophiles, domestic violence and child abusers, people that murderers, people that actually want to harm another cannot use the med beds. They are too low vibrational. Everybody else, if you believe in it or not, if you're religious or not, if you're gay or not, yeah, you can be healed by the beds. Okay. So, yeah, gay people, there's nothing wrong with gay people. It's just what they're attracted to. Nothing wrong with them at all. Okay. Some some of the gay people I know are the most beautiful people. And I'd rather spend time with them than some of the others who are straight. I don't want granny whiskers. That's funny, I like that. How about sport hunters? They must have some kind of karma. They enjoy killing. They're not eligible to use the medbeds because they enjoy killing and harming an innocent life. A lot of people are going to be angry with that, but if you enjoy killing, hunting, taking the life of another, harming the life of another, you're not a vibrational match for the medbeds. I know many people are not going to like that, but all life is sacred. And if you enjoy taking the life of another, then no. What would happen with pregnancy if baby is not wanted? They would address why the baby was created in the first place. Okay? That is an absolute personal decision, and that would definitely be discussed with the medbed team. Okay? So a woman that was raped, okay, obviously if she didn't want the child would be aborted. A woman doesn't want the child because she got drunk and had unprotected sex. That's not exactly a cause for abortion. Okay, so it's totally dependent on the hows, the whys, the whens, and all of that. So, is there going to be an age priority for medbeds? Uh, Not really. The extremely old um, would get in front of someone with a broken leg that's 30. Okay, so an old person, that sounds really derogatory, a much older person pretty healthy for their age, would go ahead of a young person with a broken leg. Okay, just because their heart could stop at any moment, so they are considered a higher priority. So yeah. In our futures, personal responsibility is a must. Not just our futures, right now. Right now. Personal responsibility. We think, and this is really something that is pretty predominant in the spiritual world, the spiritual community. Um, we use the excuse, oh, they're 3D, they don't know any better. When we're in 5D, we need personal responsibility. You need personal responsibility in all dimensions. Just because you don't know, it doesn't mean you're excluded from taking personal responsibility. Personal responsibility is a must in every dimension, in every frequency. It's just we tend to say, oh, I didn't know, or oh, I knew I should do that, or so-and-so did it to me. Like, no. No. Are you going to announce a communication number for Greece too? The announcement will be worldwide. So the entire planet will be announced. Okay? The entire planet. I have an extension dental appetite. Appetite in December? Do you mean appointment? We'll be able to get a new full set of teeth, correct? Yes, every general healing, no matter who you are, no matter what age, every general healing, whether it's you include age regression or limb regrowth, okay, no matter what your procedure, extras or whatever, every person going through the med beds, let's say that, will get a new set of teeth unless you request otherwise. Okay? So, yeah. Who decides who goes ahead of others, AI or human? The quantum computer, actually. So your vibrational frequency will determine where you go. And when I say that, what I mean is if a human puts you at your place on the list, you can manipulate that person by crying poor or saying, oh, I can't wait that long because I'm homeless. And, you can draw on their emotions. And then that can bump you further up the list when, in fact, you don't really need to. So the quantum computer does it all. The quantum computer puts you where you need to be according to your medical and physical needs. And the medbed operator cannot change that. Okay? Cannot change that. So it's a quantum computer. So you can't say, oh, well, I need my appointment sooner. Can you put me further up on the list because of something? No, it's not going to happen. Quantum computer does it. There's no bumping up the list. If you feel like you're healthier than your spouse or your child or partner or whatever, but you get in before them, you can't give up your place for them to have it. It'll just be, if you give up your place, it'll just be the next person moves up and not the person that you want to give it to. So there's no trading places. You have your place and that's it. Everyone has their own places. Okay. No bumping up the list. Can executioners use the med beds? It is their job after all. Doesn't matter if it's their job or not. Okay. An executioner could very well use a med bed. What's their intention behind it? How do they feel about their job? Are they doing it because they enjoy putting people to death? Or are they doing it because they have compassion for people and they want to take part and help people cross over? So it depends on the intention. Okay? Like somebody hunting for food. They go out in the mountains or whatever, and they hunt and kill a deer, and then they bring the deer home and feed their family. That's not a negative intention. Someone who goes out into the mountains to kill a deer because they get the thrill of the hunt, the chase, and the kill, no, those people are not eligible for a medbed. because they enjoy taking an innocent life. But for food, totally different. Remember, it's all about intention. So what is your intention? Okay, it's like fishing. So many people love fishing. Why? You're putting a hook through the roof of an innocent animal's mouth. Do you get pleasure out of that? Do you get pleasure out of torturing an innocent fish just trying to get today's dinner? Or are you taking that fish home to feed your family? It's all about intention. All about intention. Okay? Even something as simple as fishing. If you enjoy it, yeah. But if you want to eat, that's different. Okay? All right. Where are we? I remember when I was nursing, I always used to help the physiotherapist because I was interested in, you know, rehabilitation and all of that. So whenever the physio came, I'd say, "Hey, Kerry, can we have a hand?" So, sure, no problem. And we had this new lady from New Zealand, and I got on really well with her. And this is me being my judgmental 3D self back then, before I knew anything about spirit. And she said, "I'm going away. I'm going home for the week." I said, "Oh, great, see your family and all that." And she said, "Yeah, I can't wait to go hunting." And I went, "Well, what do you mean?" She said, "Oh, yeah, we get out in the 4-wheel drives and we go up in the mountains and we hunt pigs." I said, "Well, what do you do with them?" She said, "Nothing. We just throw them on the back of the truck and take them home and burn them." I said, "So what do you get out of hunting? Killing?" She said, "The thrill." I didn't talk to her after that. So I don't resonate with people who take the lives or harm others. And this is not just my opinion, okay? This is, remember, the med beds are 5D, which means love, compassion. It means you do no harm. Do no harm. And that's not even just 5D. That should be 3D. Do no harm. Okay? If you harm another, then karma's a bitch. Then harm will come back to you. Okay? Until you learn to do no harm. Okay? So it is what it is. Remember, medbeds are 5D technology. You need to be raising yourself and do no harm to match the frequency of 5D. Okay? So it's important. All right? Yes, I don't like hunters. I do not get along well with hunters. I don't get along with them at all. So this is not just my feeling. I'm putting my feeling into it. But with medbeds, no. It's just a vibrational difference. Okay? So I'm not too sure why you keep posting this comment. Can you tell me what my real name is, even from a distance, my frequency, and if I'm currently 3D, 4D, or 5D? I'm not going to tell you your real name because we're in a public live stream. Security, you know. But yes, I can tell you what frequency you're in. Your mind is moving into 4D, but your heart is still in 3D because you do not trust yourself and you do not trust the flow of your life. You're yet to see your own light. And when you do, you'll move further into 4D and your heart will move further into 5D. But I'm not going to tell you your real name. No matter how much proof you want, that ain't going to happen. Where are we? Who will be operating the med beds initially? Med bed operators that's already been trained. Okay, a lot of people are being trained to operate the med beds as we speak, and they are already medical professionals. Okay, already medical professionals. Okay, so they're already doctors, nurses, radiographers. I was going to say ultrasoundists. It's not even a word, but yeah, already medical professionals. Okay, being trained by the military. If I made a terrible mistake when I was 14 years old and had an abortion and regret it ever since, would I ever be able to use a med bed, or is my vibration too low? No. Of course you'd be able to use a med bed. You're 14. You're a child. You didn't know any better. Okay? You're a child. And you've regretted it ever since. I think you beat yourself up and I can't even talk. I think you have beat yourself up enough. You've tortured yourself. You've given yourself your own justice. I think it's time you let it go and move on. See it as a positive. Okay? See it as a positive, a learning experience. Okay? Stop beating yourself up. It's done. Use it to move forward. What about farmers who trap and kill wild hogs that destroy their crops? Do those farmers enjoy killing those hogs? Do they kill the hogs because they get a kick out of it, or is it to protect something? Okay, intention. Okay, intention is key. As a person who doesn't eat meat, that is harsh but understandable. Everyone finds out the results of what they do. That is why I don't focus on it. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, lights just went on. All right. Does that include killing a fly? No. Intention. Okay? Intention. Remember, it's your intention. Are you killing the fly because you're a sadistic murderer and enjoy the thrill of taking another's life? Or do you kill the fly because you've just eaten it or it's flown up your nose? Um, Intention. Okay? What about people that constantly talk about you behind your back? Do they get to use the medbeds? This is interesting. I specifically went and got more information from the medbed teams about this. The answer is very interesting. So, narcissists, uh, people bashing others, people talking about you behind your back because they're nasty, because they're not in their heart space, because they like to harm another. When someone talks about you, they're actually trying to harm you because they're sending you really bad energy. They're wishing you harm. When you wish someone's harm, you're trying to harm them. You are actually harming them. So I said to them, I said, well, what are we doing with people that are narcissists, egomaniacs, um, manipulators, talking about people behind their back, things like that? And they said, what do you think the 3-month program's for? And I went, oh, makes sense. So the 3-month program is basically a program to get you to work on yourself, go more into your heart, and raise your frequency. It's not so much about getting your own health in order, but it's being disguised as getting your health in order, to take better care of yourself and make healthier choices. Because very 3D people have no intention of changing this. So by dangling the medbed carrot and saying, well, in order for the procedure to work better, to have produced better results, pardon me, you need to do this program where you make healthier choices, where you take care of yourself, where you get in the best possible shape. When you start making healthier choices, healthier lifestyle choices, this activates. And when that activates, this activates. So what you're doing in that 3 months is you're taking someone who's very 3D, now they're entering 4D. Now they're more compatible with the medbeds. So it's really, really important. And you see this in a lot of groups where people are just downright nasty, just attacking truthers or intel providers, attacking each other for no reason, calling people out, calling people fakes and frauds without doing any kind of research, having no remorse, regret, or even thinking about what they're saying, just because they're not in their heart and they're unconscious. They're mentally or consciously immature. They're not actually on a compatible frequency with the medbeds. You need to be 4D. So the 3-month program is actually getting people into 4D to be a better vibrational match to the medbeds. So no 3D, as Ra said, no 3D person will ever enter the medbed unless they're on life support or on death's door. That's what the 3D program is for. The 3-month program is for. Raise people up to 4D so they are a vibrational match so that they can be treated. So, makes sense. Makes sense. So if your family member is very 3D, they will be going into a 3-month program. It could be less. It could be 1 month. It could be a couple of weeks. It just depends on what they need, particularly. So, yeah. What about butchers? Will meat eating end in 5D? No. Some 5D races eat meat. It's just they have replicators. They don't harm the animal, but their physical selves need the protein of the meat product. It all depends on DNA. Okay? I went vegetarian, and I was an outright bitch. I was horrible. I lost my connection with spirit. I felt sick. I felt lethargic. I had a steak. Oh, back to normal. I feel good. Okay, so eating meat is not some really nasty, horrible thing. It all depends on your DNA and what your body actually needs. But in 5D, you've got replicators. So you're still getting what you need, but no living being is being harmed. What is that flying around? Oh, it's all right. I thought it was one of those flying cockroaches. So, yeah, it's all good. Where are we? Yeah, the body does have biological needs when it comes to meat. Certain bodies can absolutely live on a vegetarian diet or vegan diet. Absolutely. And that's what's best for that particular body. But some bodies have more reptilian in them or more other DNA in them that actually does require the protein in meat. And people that say, oh, human body is not designed to eat meat. Well, we're all hybrids. The human race is a hybrid mix of many different extraterrestrial races. And some of those races are meat eaters. Plain and simple. So some of us have more of that DNA and require meat products. Others have less of that DNA and do better on a vegan or vegetarian diet. Neither is good, neither is bad. It's all neutral. Okay, it's your belief that create your reality. Remember, every experience is neutral. It's your beliefs that creates your reality, what's right and what's wrong, what you feel is right, what you feel is wrong. You need to learn the term no comment. I know, I have crossed the line several times tonight without you guys even realizing it. Some of you may have realized. But the two military guys are gone now. So, yeah. I think they realize, I think they think we've passed the danger zone. So, some people charging very prices for med beds here. Just one foreign lady. Haven't heard about real med beds yet here in Ireland. They're all scammers. Anyone charging money for med beds is a scammer. Downright. There's no question about it. Scammer. Okay? I think I got mosquitoes. You don't even need to ask for proof. They're a scammer. Anyone asking money for med bed treatment or med bed procedures, registration fees, is a scammer. Okay? So please don't send me a message, hey, I saw this, is this true? No, it's not. It's a scammer. Okay? 100% scammer. I talked about you behind your back months ago because I felt gaslighted, and now I understand the reason why we mismatching in energy in that moment, and I learned to forgive and forgive myself. A lot of people have talked about me behind my back. And a lot of people will talk about me behind my back, especially, we're getting to that fine line again, especially in the near future. Let's say that. I was going to say, I hope my brother's wearing clothes. Wouldn't that be entertaining? Oh my God, imagine that. How entertaining would that be? Like, oh, okay. Yeah, forgiving. Look, to be honest, I have PTSD from all the nastiness, the accusations, the death threats, all of that. I still am not ready to forgive people for, I'm going to be honest, I very nearly took my own life multiple times because of the death threats, because of these scammers, because of being accused of taking, desperate, innocent people's money. And I never did. I wouldn't. No way would I do that. And I wished for about 1.5 years that I was never born. And multiple times I thought about returning to spirit because it's not what I wanted. And my family were suffering because of it. I was in tears all day, all night. I would cry myself to sleep because of what had happened. And, wish I could turn back time. And so I do have PTSD from it, and I'm working through that, and I'm not ready to forgive people for contributing to that. So I'm a work in progress in a big way. In a big way. I have no idea how you felt. Can you get help? Oh, no. No. The Galactics are my counselors, and I kid you not, they talk my ears off. My God, they're annoying. They are so freaking annoying. They don't stop. They just don't stop. Every time I start to feel slightly low, they will go on and on and on for hours. Like this morning, because I was feeling a bit low this morning. And I said, they asked me, usually each morning they come and say, how do you feel? And I got that song in my head again. I feel like got two E's. I feel like got two E's. It's an Australian ad for alcohol. This morning I said, yeah, I feel great. Liar. No, here we go. How do you feel? I feel great. I feel fine. Liar. Stop lying. I'm like, I feel fine. You're lying. Just tell the truth. I'm like, no, no, I'm not going to tell the truth because you're going to spend the next 6 hours in my ear pulling everything apart and counseling me until I pass out. And I caved. And I said, look, I'm not feeling great. Maybe because the night before you kept me awake all night with the fear of and the images of my mum dying. They're like, yep. Do you think we did that on purpose? I'm like, yes. Like, we triggered you. We wanted your reaction. And I said, you got it. And then they, everything I said was because I was not feeling great. And then they would say the opposite. They do not allow you to have an excuse for feeling down. They do not allow you to have an excuse for not feeling great. And it's frustrating. I will not go to a counselor. I get counseled every day. And I'm like, sorry. It is so much easier when I'm not feeling great to go and spend time with my horses, because then I do feel great and then I don't get my ears chewed off for hours and hours and hours. So, yeah, it's frustrating. And part of my therapy, I guess you could call it, is working for a while in a medbed center where the majority of the people that work there believe me to be a criminal. I have said I will not turn up to work. So don't come knocking when I don't turn up. And they're like, that's okay. You don't have to turn up. We will just portal you there and you won't know how to get home. It's like, it's not funny, but the way you tell it about your galactic counselors makes me chuckle. If I said how I truly feel, when I end this live stream, it'll be on again. I don't want that. I don't want that. It's very annoying. Very, very annoying. I was so excited to, when I first learned about spirit, I hated it. I didn't want to communicate with spirit. I hated it. But when I got into it, I was so excited. I couldn't wait to communicate with spirit. And then I found out that ETs, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And then I became telepathic, and every time someone came to me to learn mediumship, I said, why do you want to learn mediumship? Oh, it's so exciting. I'm like, really? Wait until you actually learn it. Oh, really? So, yeah. But, everything they say is right. Everything. Everything they say and do is 100% correct. Even torturing me, putting me in situations where I can't stand it, is correct. Because it's forcing me to face my fears. It's forcing me to level up. It's forcing me to be more of who I am. It's giving me the opportunity to peel back the layers of myself. It's allowing me to be more courageous, to be more outgoing and not be so shy. It's, I'm learning so much about consciousness through my own traumas, through being counseled. And I bring what I learned through my own counseling through my own traumas to you guys. And it is correct. Because some of you have said it's very 3D. It's not. It's very, like, it's 8, 9D minimum. Because what is very 3D is expecting spirit to hold your hand and be all loving and kind. And that's just not how it is in the higher dimensions. They have compassion and love for everybody, but they show it in a different way. It's our human mind that thinks we need a hand held and we need hugs and cuddles and to be made feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Their way of love and compassion is pushing you to be the best person that you can be, even if that makes you feel uncomfortable. It is so different than what people think. And the moment you say, oh, my guides lie to me. Oh, you must be channeling demons. No, they lie to me so I can use more of my intuition and become more independent and not seek outside of myself for information and answers. So that's like 12D. And people say, oh, that's very 3D. Simply because they believe that the archangels and galactics have to hold your hand. Believing that is creating a dependence on spirit and ETs to guide you through life. And that's creating an unhealthy dependence. They want you to be independent. They want you to be able to go into another dimension, another universe, another planet, another realm, and be totally independent, and you don't need them beside you holding your hand, guiding you through. Lying to me, I don't ask them any questions because I know they're not going to tell the truth. So where do I look for my answers? Internally. It is the best form of education, and it's 12D education, not 3D. You guys will learn that. The more you progress up through the dimensions, the more you will realize that they're not going to hold your hand. You will get to a point where they kick you out of the nest and say, right, you're on your own. And you'll go, what did I do wrong? Nothing. You did everything right. You're ready. The mother bird doesn't keep the baby bird in the nest its whole adult life. Get out there. Get independent. Off you go. Okay? Really important. If they were of the light, they would not lie. Yeah, they would. Because there is a reason for the lie. There's an intention behind it. They're not doing it to harm you. They're not doing it to trick you. They're doing it to activate your own guidance system. They're doing it so you don't need to ask them any questions because it forces you to go within. Absolutely. They will. Ra lies to people. Why? Because people believe Ra. Seth. How many people follow Seth and his teachings? Bashar. How many people follow Bashar's teachings? He lied to me the other day. I called him out on it immediately. And he said, well done. You felt the frequency was not accurate, did not resonate, and you stood in your own truth. Exactly what the exercise is for. And then he tells me the truth. It is to activate your own intuition. That's what it's for. And it works a treat. It's frustrating. It's annoying. But it works. I've been calling out liars from the age of 9. Try being the only one speaking truth. The ones living in shadows fall away quickly. Yes, but also by doing that, you're also creating karma on yourself. Okay. It's really important when you call someone out as a liar, what you're doing is you are both doing something positive and negative at the same time. Positive, allowing them to see their own inner demons okay, because you're calling them out for their own inner demons. The second thing you're doing is you're invalidating their experience. You're being drawn into their reality. You're not allowing them to live their reality. I've lived with liars. I've had many people lie to my face, knowing that I know the truth, and they'll still lie to me. And I don't say anything. I just go, oh, okay, that's great. I don't have to react to something that I already know. I don't have to be involved in their reality. And that's something that I was told today, is just because somebody sees you as something or says something to you doesn't mean you have to respond in any shape or form. It means you can choose to simply observe and walk away with no response. Because the moment you respond, the moment you are drawn into their reality. So you can look at it many different ways. Randy said Brunson has been found in our favor. Oh, there you go. All right, I'm going to do a couple more, and then I got to go because it's 8:30. So yeah. Now, for the people that's asking me to read their frequency, what do you feel your frequency is? Okay. Instead of asking somebody else what your frequency is, what do you feel your frequency is? Let's look at it. 3D, you're in fear. You're calling people out. You're talking about people behind their back. You're worried. You don't trust the flow of your life. You're not in your heart space. 4D, you're opening up to the possibility of other dimensions. You're becoming more in your heart, meaning you're starting to look at like criminals as people with, that may have had a rough life, or, accepting that there's circumstances of how they got there. You're starting to look at people that deal drugs as potentially it's the only way they can feed their family, or maybe their loved one got roped into trafficking or being trafficked, and unless the family pays the traffickers, that person will die. We don't know the circumstances of why people do things that we would consider criminal or negative. So 4D is starting to open up to, to all possibilities. Starting to think for yourself and not fall in line with religion and mind control programs. You're starting to feel that things are just not quite right. 5D, you see pedophiles as people having just having an experience. Nothing's positive or negative. 5D, you don't wish executions. 5D, you're in your heart. You see animals, insects, as your equal. You trust the flow of your life. You know everything happens for a reason and it's perfect. 5D, you're seeing the positives in every opportunity, in every situation. You're more relaxed, you're calmer. You don't feel the need to work, in a 9-to-5 job. You feel you're more relaxed, at peace. You're more calm. So instead, one thing I noticed as I moved up through the dimensional frequencies is I used to drive like from A to B as quickly as I could because, time was money. Now I'll take half a day just to do a 20-kilometer trip. I want to sightsee. I want to stop and smell the roses. I want to go into that little antique shop and have a look, or that little art gallery and have a look. I'm in no hurry at all. Everyone flies past me. I do 15, 20 Ks under the speed limit on the freeway. I used to do 15, 20 Ks over the speed limit on the freeway. I want to slow down and enjoy life. You're living more in the moment in 5D. 3 and 4D, you're living outwards. Your focus is outwards. 5D, your focus is inwards. So if you're asking me what your frequency is, you tell me, okay, by feeling it. You feel your frequency, okay? Feel your frequency. And then that's what you'll have. And be honest, okay? Be honest. If you're tuning into yourself to feel your frequency, be honest. I was asked what frequency I thought from 1 to 1,000, what I was. And I said, maybe 700. And they said, liar. And straight away I went, you should talk. And they said, no, be honest. You're not being honest. You're dropping yourself down. And they said, this is a form of ego. You're protecting yourself. So it's not only ego that pushes yourself forward. Look at me, I'm so wonderful. I know everything. Ego is also putting yourself down, being less than. And they said, you're in your ego. Be honest. And then I said, they said, what frequency do you think you're in? And I said, about 895. And they said, we would agree, except we would go 925 at that time. And I said, okay, that's ridiculous. And they said, no, it's honesty. Be honest with yourself. It will change all the time. Your frequency changes every time you take a new thought. Your frequency will change. Be honest. It's okay to feel that you're right up there. It's okay to feel you're right down there. Just be honest with yourself. So there you have it. What frequency do you feel you're in by tuning into yourself? And be honest. Then you'll have your answer. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to go. Okay? No, there's nobody. Is there another person in America who does your job? No, I wish there were. I am the only person on this planet doing my job. A lot of people talk about medbeds. Most of the time, they're just regurgitating the information that I'm giving, and you can tell that. I'm not being egotistic. It's just, you can tell that. Okay? But apparently, this is my job. Is what the label they gave it was ambassador for the future medical technology. I'm not into labels. There's no way you will ever hear me say I'm an ambassador. That's hideous. Absolutely hideous and full of ego and 3D, as all labels are. So, but no, I'm the only one. Okay. So yes. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. And I think, yep, I'm going to leave it there. So have a beautiful day, and let's see what happens tomorrow, or for most of you this afternoon. Because if they have made the announcement, or when they make the announcement, and it's in our favor, it's go time. Okay? That's the information I received today anyway. Once they make that announcement and it's in our favor, that's the start for the RV and other certain special things to come online within a very small time frame. All right. Have a beautiful day, night, evening, early morning, wherever you are, and stay in your heart. And I want to say rabbit. Rabbit. Bye. I don't know what that means.